Hi, this is Kat, and you're watching Azlivetv TV. And I am here with Artemis Mourat, also known as Artemis, and she has come to Tucson, Arizona. It's blazing hot in August right now. Welcome to Tucson, welcome to Arizona, Artemis, and we're really happy to have you here with us for the first annual Tucson Raqs and Rolls.
Thank you, and many more.
And many more, and we hope to have you back.
Thanks. I would love to come back.
I'd like to start with just having you say who you are. Tell our audience who you are, your name, and where you're from, where you live. We'll start with just some basic things and take it from there.
Okay. Well, I've been Artemis longer than I've been Elizabeth. I've been dancing 42 or 3 or 4 years. I'm not sure. I was 21 when I started, and I'm almost 64 now. And
amazing.
It's the dance. It's the dance. And I was born in Washington, D.C., but my father is a Greek from Turkey. We were in Turkey for 1,000 years, so we're Turkish Greeks. We're not European Greeks. And my mother is from America, and for quite a few generations. And I live in the woods, right outside of Washington, D.C. I live in a park.
How beautiful. Well, this must be quite a change for you. Is this the first time you've visited Arizona?
No, I taught in Phoenix quite a few years ago. And I think it's beautiful. It's a different kind of beautiful. You know, whenever I live on the road, really, so I travel a lot. And I always absorb the visual, the flora and the fauna. And you have cacti that are taller than buildings.
It's the cactus forest.
It's amazing, amazing
Cactus forest.
Nature.
Well, from that background, you are now a Turkish Oriental and Roma gypsy dance expert. Talk to us about that journey from where you started to now. How many years has it been?
40-some.
40-some?
Well, because of my father's heritage, I had music and dance in my background, but it was always social party dancing. It wasn't real professional dancing. And when I was 14, we were in Istanbul, and my family, we were staying at this hotel, and there was a party going on, and my brother and I snuck in, and we're looking around the corner, and there were all these Roma women dancing at this party that were entertaining, and I was fascinated, absolutely fascinated. And then years later, when I was 21, I went to observe my first belly dancing class because the teacher wouldn't allow you to just jump in. You had to observe first. And I went to see her dance that night, and I was smitten. She was so gorgeous, and something happened to me, and I said, I'm going to do that dance, and I'm going to do it on that stage. So I started taking lessons, and I was really serious about it. I was working, out dancing, practicing 2 hours a day. And so 2.5 years later, I got a job dancing at that restaurant. I was awful. I was so bad. I was such a bad dancer. I was still a baby dancer, but I was young, and I had the cute thing going for me, so I got the gig. I didn't deserve the gig, but I got the gig. And I got better, on the job.
That was on-the-job training.
That's right, that's right.
Well, and from there you continued, so that was your first professional gig,
yeah,
so to speak.
Yeah.
And who would you say have been, of course that woman, that Roman gypsy woman was your inspiration, and that is an area that you have I think dived into and written books about. We know that. So you are an expert on this particular field, and what is happening with gypsy dance, and how does that play into what you're doing?
Well, I went back to school and I started to study social work. I got a master's degree in social work. And when I did that, I started studying about racism as part of the curriculum. And it was so enlightening to me to realize that it's not okay to just take on other people's culture and not respect it. And so I was interested in Romani dance, but I didn't really know that much about it. And so I started to study, and I was going back and forth to Turkey a lot. And then I realized what a plight that Romani people have throughout the world. They're horribly discriminated against and mistreated. And so then I knew that, first of all, I had to, if I was going to do their dances, I needed to learn about the culture, and I needed to learn to do the dances well so that I was giving a good representation of it. But I also needed to tell the story, because there's so many misconceptions about Romani people, and most of them are based on the stereotypes about them, and it doesn't honor who they are, who they really are, and it doesn't speak to their plight. So I get to talk about their discrimination, because people come in to learn to dance, and then I can talk about how they're mistreated and what we can do to help them. And of course, the first step is to realize they're real people and to represent them well.
Well, I acknowledge you for that.
Thank you.
That is a big undertaking, and I myself agree with you strongly that whenever we are representing other people's cultures, we should do our best to do it as authentically as possible.
Yeah.
And I know you've written about the subject, and we're really looking forward to also the talk that you will be giving us on Sunday morning, along with some of your archival materials such as video and slideshows.
Yeah.
So we can't wait for that, Artemis.
Thank you. And thank you for including that. I love it when my sponsors want the history lectures, because that's what it's all about. If you don't really understand the culture and the history of the people that you are representing, then you're going to look like little kids playing dress up in clothes that never ever fit right.
Yes,
you know,
so true, absolutely.
because it's not just the outside, but it's coming from the inside out when you're dancing. So thank you for asking me to do that.
Well, we are really looking forward to that. Well, tell us a little bit about your books. Now, I know there are people watching this will probably want to be able to find you, maybe find out more about you and the work that you've done. And so tell us about the books and things, and where people can find that in case they want to get a hold of you.
Okay. Well, I've written quite a few articles and manuscripts, and what I'm doing now is I'm compiling them all together. So I think I have 3 books in me. I have one book that's based on my research on the history of the veil, and I have one book that will be the sort of belly dancing A to Z, and then I have another book, which is the one I'm working on right now, that is all about Turkish dance. And so nobody can get any of it yet, because
Darn.
well, they're going to be in real books. But the first one that I want to do is the one on Turkish music, dance, and culture, and then that will lead to the others, I'm sure.
Well, we can't wait.
Thank you.
I can't wait for those. And so you do have a website, Artemis. Can you please say what your website is?
Sure. www.serpentine, serpentine like the snake, .org. So it's www.serpentine.org. And I share the website with my business partner, who is Yasmin Henkesh. And so she is opening up a brand new studio in Bethesda, Maryland, that is going to look like a Moroccan palace inside. And it's going to be a studio that caters particularly to women. So we're going to have belly dancing. Of course, male dancers are always very welcome. And Pilates and Zumba and yoga and all kinds of wonderful, amazing things.
Well, that sounds like a great oasis there.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
So what do you do to relax? People always want to know that.
That's a great question. Nature helps me relax. So because I live in the woods, all I have to do is sit on the porch and watch the birds and the foxes and the raccoons and the deer and the possums. And when I'm on the road and I don't always get to see nature, if there's a fern bar where I'm having dinner, I will always sit near the plants or sit where I can look at a tree or something, because we get so disconnected from nature when you're traveling on the road. You always think you're going to see the place where you're visiting, but you usually end up seeing the airport, right, and the drive to the hotel
and the hotel
and the venue, and so every chance I have to soak it all in, I'm going to try to be near the plants.
Well, we're going to try
and animals.
And animals, yes. We'll try to at least give you a little experience of some of that desert flora and fauna while you're here.
Thank you.
So, what do you seek to gain from your work?
What I would like to accomplish is to enlighten and educate and empower people who study with me. And my goal is to help them to carry the torch, because I can't dance forever, and I want to pass it on so that my dancing daughters and their daughters and their daughters' daughters can dance. Because really, Turkish Oriental dance is an endangered species now, because there's so much fusion that's going on, and there's also classical Turkish Orientals being replaced by what I call Nouveau Turkish. And Nouveau Turkish is great, but you got to keep the older styles as well, the original styles as well. So I want to keep that going and just continue teaching people.
Well, we hope that you continue to teach for a very long time. Any thoughts of retirement?
Years ago, I had a foot doctor say, "Oh, your days are numbered." And I thought, "Oh, my days are numbered." And I got a little panicky about it and started telling people, "Well, I guess I'll retire at 60, because that was sort of the date stamp that he put on my foot. Mm-hmm. My foot is fine. That was 13 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that you have to just keep going as long as you can. And my goal, or my fantasy about how this will play out, is that I'll be ready to stop when the phone stops ringing. And because if either one happened first, it would be sad. If the phone was still ringing and I had to say, "No, I can't," or if I still could do it but nobody was asking me, that would be sad too. So I'd like to coordinate that, and and I'm putting that out to the universe. That's how I want it to unfold.
Well, and so it will be.
Thank you. And you can always teach, even if you're not performing. You can always pass on the wisdom. That's the value of being an elder.
Absolutely. Well, Thank you so much, Artemis, for coming to Tucson, for bringing your spirit and your work to Arizona and to the world. And we here at Azlivetv TV want to help you bring that legacy.
Thank you. Yay. Hi, this is Artemis, and you are watching Azlivetv TV is all Arizona, all original, all the time.